Here's a game. Valerie J01. Okay, time for d4, I think. And see what he does. The old Queen's Gambit. And the Marshall defense. Okay, well, let's test out my theory that the Marshall defense is no good. See how he plays this. Yeah, that seems to be a popular... I just had a game like this, where they played that bishop move. He's trying to stop e4, but there's no way to stop it. This knight d2 is a nice, effective move. And let's see, is there pressure on that pawn? If queen takes, knight takes, bishop takes, king takes. Let's break the pin anyway and just castle. Seems like a reasonable way to play this. So I think this is why the Marshall defense is not a good opening. I've looked at my development. I've castled. I've got 3 pieces out, and he hasn't castled. Well, he just got his 3rd piece out, so he's kind of a step behind in development. And I have more center control. So if I can hold on to that center, I'm in good shape here. So let's kick that bishop, see where it wants to go. There. And then where is this knight going to go? Or this bishop? Maybe here. Set up along this diagonal with the dark squared bishop. Put a rook to the c file. Seems like a pretty harmonious piece development. My knight can go to c4 maybe. And he can drop his bishop back to g6 at any time to try and put pressure on my e-pawn. And okay, so he defended his c-pawn with the rook. Maybe he's thinking of getting in the move c5. That might be a way to try and get some play in this position. Yeah, the one thing I can't do is I can't line up on h7 so easily. My queen and my bishop aren't quite lined up correctly, and anyway he has bishop to g6 to block that diagonal. So my favorite attacking plan is not happening here. I have a sudden knight move. I have pawn to e5 anyway, which looks kind of weird, but it also opens up this e4 square for my other knight. Let's try it. I mean, it opens up squares for his pieces. He just pushes forward with the f-pawn. Okay, well, let's take that. And then knight to e4. That was the idea. Now I'm hitting his bishop. I didn't want him getting too much pressure on this d-pawn here, which is now isolated. So I'm going to exchange off that bishop if I get the chance. He's got an open f-file, so maybe he's looking at attacking ideas. Perhaps an exchange sacrifice on f3 there. Trade the bishop for the knight. Get the bishop there. Well, he has to distract my queen and then take that with the rook. Okay, but he brought his knight to a good square. Let's take off that bishop and see how he wants to take back. He can take back with either knight or the rook. Or the queen even, I guess. The knight. So he's going for the knights. And let's see. I have the bishop pair. So maybe I shouldn't trade it off so quickly. But actually, it's kind of hard to avoid the trade, I think. Let's see. Where are his knights going? His knight can hop into e4. This knight can go to f4. Or possibly b4. I'm going to put my rook on the e-file, looking at this weak pawn here. My knight can go to my knight can go to g5. That's what I'm thinking. That'll provoke a trade of the bishop, but should win this pawn for me. Yeah, so he goes knight f5. That's a good move. That's a good square for that knight. And now if I move my knight away, there is... okay, so I'm going to move my bishop away. I don't want to trade it just yet. And I do have to be careful. Bishop takes, queen takes, puts my queen in line with his rook. But he's got two knights in the way, so I don't know. Unless he can find a way to remove both those knights with tempo. He's not going to win my queen that way. So I am just going to take that pawn if I get the chance. I don't mind giving up the bishop for the knight if I win a pawn. And he will still have pressure on the f-file. So he just went back. Aha. So I need to... I can still take that pawn. I'm thinking it'd be better to unpin the knight first because that pin is kind of annoying. So I can play, if I play that, he might actually sacrifice. Knight takes. If I play g4, he might play knight takes, bishop takes, and he's got a very strong pin on my knight. So the other way to unpin is to move the queen. And if I go here, he can harass my queen with a couple of knight moves. Maybe he'll go for knight b4 here, which would be annoying. That guy wins a pawn over here. But then I'll grab this pawn. He's not going for any of that. Okay. So now, oh no, he defended the he defended his pawn. So let's move my knight out of the line of fire of the bishop. And attack his e-pawn. It's getting complicated. I'm probably starting to overlook things here. Yeah, like that bishop move. I kind of knew about that. So my idea was to move the queen to the side somewhere, but not in the line of his... Not in the line of his rook. So if I went over here, which knight? The knight can harass me on the light squares here. Or here, I can trade it off there. Here's a possibility. I'll have to move the queen again. Okay, just comes over and defends. So this is looking like it's holding together. Let's see. Knight takes, rook takes, and I have a pin on this knight. Knight takes, rook takes, queen takes. It's close, but no win there. I'm thinking maybe playing queen to h3. But I guess he just has bishop to f5 in that case. Okay, so how about rook to... okay, he's going to chase this bishop away. Rook there, so I can double rooks. If he harasses my bishop, I think I will just take the knight. See how he wants to take back. Takes with the knight. Yeah, so I still have pressure on this, right? So let's double rooks. He can come in with knight f5 again, and he still has knight to b4. Oh, knight b4 now is not so great. Knight f4, I meant. F4, knight b4. So I am threatening to take this once again. He defends with the rook. Okay, so now if I take the knight, he has to take with the queen or the pawn or something. I can't take back, right? Oh, I can't take the knight anymore. I don't have a light-scored bishop. Well, if I could take the knight, it would be good. So maybe maneuvering my knight around would be useful in this case. See if I push the bishop around first. He takes. I guess that doesn't do anything. Okay, let's try a knight here. Yeah, he just takes it. Yeah, this is not adding up to a lot here. I guess I have to reposition my bishop, huh? So not a great example of playing with the isolated queen's pawn. You're supposed to get a little more activity or something. But bishop c1 to g5 is an idea. He will probably block with h6. Let's see. I could go to f4 and just trade everything out if he plays h6. Okay, he doesn't go there. He goes for doubling. So where is the rook going now? Can go to f5, I guess. I don't see anywhere else. Rook takes, rook takes, rook takes, queen takes. It's a check on the back rank. Rook takes, check. Rook back, I take, check. Looks good. Rook takes, what else can he play? He can take here, I guess, but I'll take there with check. Let's try this. Didn't calculate that out very exactly. But the king has no moves. If the queen blocks, I will trade queens and then take the rook, so I'll win a pawn that way. And then if he retreated the rook back, I was just going to take the rook, and he would have been in big trouble. So I think that was his best choice. So looks good for me. Looks like that worked. Always nice when you can spot those little tactics during a game. Yeah, so now he's going for the pawns. It's about pawns now. That also, what hits my pawn, it defends his pawn. So I want to kick that knight away and start grabbing these queenside pawns. And he wants to start grabbing my pawns, so we'll have a little pawn grabbing contest. I got 2, he got 2, so and then what now? Let's bring the bishop back. I can keep his king kind of tied up here, it looks like. Oops, how I was saying. But maybe not. Maybe it's not so easy. I'm just going to bring my king over to the queen side here and try and help out the rook and the bishop. Try and get one of these pawns promoted. My bishop is restricting his knight at the moment. His knight could go to the corner and come out this way. Or his knight could come here and we'd trade into an endgame. Yeah, he goes there. Okay. So yeah, we're down to a rook and pawn endgame. But there are pawns on both sides of the board, so this isn't necessarily a drawn rook and pawn endgame. Like they say, all rook and pawn endgames are drawn, but maybe not. Maybe not this one. Yeah, let's leave my rook there, keep his king in prison. The problem is, I can't bring my king over to attack this pawn. Because it leaves these pawns behind. Yeah, this is tough. Can't move my f-pawn. Maybe I'll attack his rook. Yep, he can go there. And yeah, I'm not seeing the way to break through. Okay, well, he gave me a pawn. Interesting. Let's go here, see if I can hold on to all my pawns. Maybe not, yeah, so he gets that one. That's his idea. Okay. He keeps this one and goes for that one. That's funny. I thought he would take this one over here. Because this outside pass pawn is a little more dangerous, isn't it? So I think eventually he has to move his rook over here to take the pawn. His king is too far away. And I'll grab this one. And I don't know. His king might be close enough to stop this one from queening. My rook pawn is very far back, so it's tough to win with a rook pawn when the king is this close. But I will try. I will try. I really think he has to stop it with the rook. How does he stop it now? Interesting game. Be nice to check this out. Yeah, it seems to be losing, right? Should be losing if there's any justice. Yes, this is losing. If there is any justice. I will take his last pawn. Let's see if he decides to resign here. No, he's going to play on. Well, I can mate him with the king and rook. I don't need the other pawn. Maybe he's hoping for a stalemate. Okay, so king here, king there, rook there is mate. Okay, well, that was efficient enough. So nice game. I will upload this and do a postmortem. See you guys later. Bye.